What is personality development? In modern secular parlance, all attempt at his inner growth came under the heading of personality development. Personality does not mean physical bulk or power, nor does personality development means increase of physical size or power. Personality may be described as a person's capacity or ability to integrate certain principles and habits deep within his nature. If you have to change the situation, we first have to change our perception. The onus is on us. One has to start from the self within and came out with a concrete solution. A William George Jordan says, quotation, into the bonds of every individual it gives a marvelous power for good or evil. The silent, unconscious, unseen influence of his life. This is simply the content of radiation of what man really is, not what he pretends. In life, there are sequential stages of growth and development. A child learns to turn over, to sit up, to crawl, and then to walk and run. Each step is important and each takes time. No step can be skipped. We begin as totally dependent and helpless begin over a period of time. We tend to grow and become independent physically, mentally, and emotionally. At higher stages, we realize the independence of life at all levels cooperation, coexistence, social interaction, and so on. Personality can be divided into 5 stages. First stage, physical development in terms, health, stamina, and so on. Second stage, our vital energy regulated throughout the system. Third stage, we develop our minds by thinking, reasoning, and educating. Love of knowledge arises. Fourth stage, intellect measures. It is the able, discriminate, and decide. We are able to see life in a new perspective. Fifth stage, all that we do contribute to joy, contentment, and fulfillment, both oneself and of others. Academic excellence. Our present educational system dwells primarily on academic development, improving the mental and intellectual faculties of a student. However, real academic excellence has more dimension than one. Doing well in examination in perhaps of the most minor aspect. A student to become academically excellent must develop the capacity for organized thought, the call for self-discipline and control of our mental power. Self-control in turn gives us the capacity to separate the essential from the inessential in pace subject of study. Academic excellence must help us in developing this discriminative faculty in the context of academic pursuit. This is a great help for those who want to pursue higher study in terms of research and teaching. We find in Swami Vivekananda's life in an instance of how he had managed to develop in the mental power to a remarkable degree. When we start learning to read, we usually read letter by letter, then word by word, and then perhaps phrase by phrase. Most of us do not progress behind this stage. Swami Vivekananda developed this capacity further till he could read sentence by sentence, later page by page. Used to say that he would read the first few lines and the last few lines of the page and fathom in content in a trice. Here we have an example of mental development that can be regarded as an outstanding instance of academic excellence. In fact, towards the end of his life, the Swami, within a short span of time, mastered the content of entire enclosism, Breathmania. He used to say that if one can maintain unbroken chastity in thought, word, and deed for the 12 years, such powers would come spontaneously. Human excellence. Academic excellence, in the sense mentioned above, should lead naturally to human excellence. This has manifold implications. All aspects of one being, intellectual and emotional, rational and aesthetic, moral and spiritual, and individual and social, need to be developed. Academic excellence deals primarily with the intellectual, rational, and in some cases the aesthetic aspects of our being. But an excellent human being in one in whom all the features are harmoniously developed, half a person becomes endowed with many brilliant attributes. But he lacks the capacity to share his qualities with others. The ideal is too deep and ocean and as broad as the sky, paraphrasing a poem of Rabindranath Tagore. An ideal personality should be like the sun, which light up the whole world while it radiates, while at the same time in retained capacity to be caught in its entirety. In a tiny dome, this one aspect of human excellence is radiance, the other is the capacity of enter into happy interpersonal relationship without regard for high and low. In the following pages, an attempt has been made to point out the need of the honor interpretation of human values in the present educational system for achieving the total development of the personality of our younger generation.